You are now listening to AB on the Unpopular Opinion Podcast.
What's up, everybody? This is your boy AB, and you are now listening to the Unpopular Opinion Sports Podcast. I got my boy Pat with me. He in the building. We ready to get it, man. I hope y'all ready too. So, what we got in store for today for y'all? We got Dak Prescott, the franchise tag situation with the Dallas Cowboys. How will Jerry Jones and Dak Prescott, will they get a deal done? Will they not? We're going to let y'all know right now. Brady, Gronk, Buccaneers, their expectations for the season. What do y'all think? How do y'all think that they're going to end the regular season? Do you think it's going to end with a Super Bowl? Tom Brady first year, they got all these offensive weapons. It's going to be some fireworks down in Tampa Bay. Then we're going to talk about Nikola Jokic and other players that has been tested positive for the COVID-19. We'll talk about that a little bit, the NBA, and we'll get some good discussion there. So let's get it. Let's go ahead and get it going. My boy Pat, what's good, bro?
What's going on with you, man?
Yes, sir. Let's go. So, the first thing we're going to talk about, like I said, Dak Prescott, the franchise tag situation. He's set to sign the franchise tag. There's haven't been reports that he actually signed yet, but they're saying that he will. So, there's a lot going on there, a lot of numbers thrown at people. Give them a little bit on how you feel about the Dak Prescott situation and the franchise tag.
I feel like Dak's doing the right thing, man. Man deserves his money. He's kind of proven himself since he's been there, especially considering the position that they stole him at in the draft.
Right.
His numbers don't lie. So the man's worth the money. He wants a shorter contract where he can still get his money. Just give him what he wants if you want to keep him.
I mean, I can't argue much because, although I don't think he's the best quarterback in the NFC East, I do think he's really good for what the Cowboys, what they've had before, or, anybody that's on the market right now. Andy Dalton is not the answer. I don't know if they tried to scare him with Andy Dalton or what, but Andy Dalton I like Andy Dalton, I do, but he's not the answer. I don't think he's better than Dak Prescott. I think that's been proven. And, his tag right now is worth $31.4 million. He signed it, and they put in the paperwork on March 16th. On March 17th, Kirk Cousins restructured his deal. He was out of the top 5 as far as being paid salary-wise. And then you got Ben Roethlisberger, who then with the Pittsburgh Steelers restructured his deal on the 18th. I think he still remained in the top 5. But the franchise tag just says that you have to be paid, on average, the top 5 at your position. So Dak Prescott, the highest numbers is up there in $37 million. $33 million, I think, is number 2 with Russell Wilson. So, and then it goes down a little lower, but on average, it'll be $31.4 million. So if the Cowboys would have waited a couple days and put in that paperwork after the 18th, that would have mean $3 less million for Dak, more money for the Cowboys to use for the salary cap as a whole. And now, if he signs the next year another franchise tag tender, that's a 20% increase. So they can't keep doing that with the Cowboys. It's just hurting them more and more. It's giving Dak more leverage. So I'm all about players getting their money, getting paid, and I think Dak is certainly doing the right thing, as you said. And he's kind of got him where he wants him right now. And we got to remember, Dak, like you said, was a later draft pick, 3rd round, I believe. So, if he's up there statistically putting up the same numbers as a Carson Wentz, a Jared Goff, 1 and 2 in the draft, and he went in the 3rd round, he's like, hey, I already gave y'all a discount because I was only getting paid peanuts when I was playing my first couple years, so I need to get my money. And y'all just paid my running back that draft. You got drafted in the same draft as me. So, it's a lot going on there, man. I think they eventually will get a deal done, but it's gonna happen the way Dak wants it. I think he wants a 4-year type deal, correct?
4-year for 128, and Jerry's trying to get him somewhere between 5 and the max of 7.
Right. So, it makes sense for Dak to sign a shorter deal just because he want to keep re-signing new deals. And, of course, for Jerry on his end, he wants longer deals. He wants that long-term security, knowing that he'll have his quarterback in place.
And it saves money off the cap.
Yeah.
When you stay on the term longer.
Exactly. So, businessman trying to get deals done. That's how it goes. So, Next topic, man. We're gonna talk about Brady and the Bucs, man. Excuse me, the Brady and the Bucs. Like, how do you feel about where they'll end up at the end of the year with, they got a tough division, or a tough team in the division, I'll say that. They got the Saints. I don't know how Atlanta's going to do. Atlanta, they got some work to do. They had a lot of injuries, so they could be right back in contention. I could see them probably, they could win 10 or 11 games. They just got to stay healthy. And where do you see the Bucs ending as far as the NFC South, and will they win that division?
I see the Bucs winning the division. I say the Bucs will probably go 11-5, maybe tie with the Saints, and win the tiebreaker. I just don't see how Brady can't do it with all those weapons. He already has Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. They brought Gronk back with him. He's got Cameron Brate, O.J. Howard, Bashard Perriman from last year, nice, speedy, big receiver. They drafted Keyshawn Vaughn, nice running back out of Vanderbilt. And they drafted Tyler Johnson, big receiver from Minnesota. So he's got weapons to work with. Already had Ronald Jones, Agumbale.
And some help on that O-line with that first-round draft pick, Tristan
Wirfs at left tackle.
Yes.
They needed a tackle.
They did.
Bad.
Desperately.
Especially blindside tackle.
Desperately.
Brady needs it.
I mean, speaking of blind, their quarterback that they used to have, he said that he was blind, and that's why he threw all them picks. So,
there is footage of him squinting on the field.
I mean, I know I'm sorry, Jameis. I shouldn't have threw shots at you like that. But, 30 picks, bro. Come on, dog. Come on, bro. 30. Come on, dog. And he had the nerve to say he's one of the best quarterbacks of this generation or something like that. Didn't he say?
Mm-hmm.
That's bold words. Got a lot of confidence.
For a man with 30 picks.
He got a lot of confidence. But, he did throw for 5,000 yards, but it don't help when you put your defense right back on the field every 2 plays.
In the red zone.
In the red zone, yeah. So
no Gatorade.
And we know Brady don't throw picks. Brady don't throw picks. So I think it's going to help them all around. I think it's going to help their offense. I think it's going to help their defense. I got them finishing at 12-4 on the season. I think I got the Saints right under that at like 11-5. I think they're going to take a notch down this year. I think Drew Brees is going to have a down year. He won't have a 5,000 yard season this year. He won't have one of those historically great, seasons like we used to seeing from him. I think he'll have a down year. We saw him have some rough moments last season, some un-Brees-like moments. Certain passes that he normally hits in clutch situation he wasn't hitting, and as a result, they didn't get the job done. I think that should have been a Super Bowl team last year and the year before that. We know that they got, kind of messed over by the refs in the NFC Championship 2 years ago. But, I just see them probably a notch under the Bucs. So, I don't think they'll win a Super Bowl. What do you think?
Who won't win the Super Bowl? The Saints or the Bucs?
The Bucs.
I don't want to say they will, but it's hard to say they won't because we just talked about their offense, but their defense is also looking a lot nicer.
Yeah.
They've got their young secondary. Yeah. Their young secondary. They've got young linebackers in Devin White. They've got Shaq Bear, who is signing the franchise tender. They got Levante David, former All-Pro, should have been a Pro Bowler this past year, 123 tackles. They got Vita Vea, who is a great athlete for being his size. They've got JPP.
Yep. Forgot JPP was
and Ndamukong Suh.
Yeah. They got some talent, man. They got some talent.
If that defense comes to play, it's over.
And shout out to Ryan Smith, my boy from NCCU. Shout out to Ryan, man. He in that secondary, holding it down. So, we're going to see how the Bucs do this year. We're going to see. So let's go ahead and move on into the Nikola Jokic and the rest of these players, man, with, COVID-19 and a lot of players are starting to test positive for that, or we're starting to hear reports. Jabari Parker, Buddy Hield, Alex Len, all from the Sacramento Kings, they, tested positive. Derrick Jones Jr. tested positive with the Miami Heat, the dunk contest champion this year. Malcolm Brogdon, who is a great two-way player for the Pacers, have them looking really good this year without Victor Oladipo. And now he has, test positive. We don't know if he's going to play or not. And then 2 unknown players from the Suns. You know, so it's not looking good for a lot of these teams and key players, especially the Denver Nuggets, who has championship aspirations. So, what are your thoughts on that?
It's kind of tough because Jokic kind of put himself in a messed up situation. So
he's in Serbia. Right?
Back in June, he's pictured with a center from a Serbian basketball team at a basketball exhibition. His name is Nikola Jankovic, and the two were pictured together, and he also tested positive for COVID.
Oh.
And Novak Djokovic, who was one of the top tennis players, also tested positive, and he was also at that event. And him and his wife tested positive, and they threw a party. I think, if I'm not mistaken, at their house. And they also tested positive, and a couple people from that party tested positive.
Wow, man, that's crazy. Yeah, and is that, can we say that that's selfish of him to kind of put himself in that situation, knowing that his role with the team and a lot of their success is dependent on him. You know what I'm saying? Like, as a leader of the team, as the best player, you got to think about those things. Like, we want to live your life. I'm not telling nobody how to live their life, but that's a large responsibility, being the facial point of an NBA franchise. And now, if he can't play, that takes a big hit on them and their championship chances.
And he's also lost a lot of weight this year, which could have altered his immune system. So he lost 20-ish pounds before the All-Star break. Then since the COVID stoppage, he's lost another 25 to 30. So he's on the upwards of 50, 60 pounds that he's lost this year. That can also affect his game because he was never really a super athletic guy. He kind of used his size to throw himself around the court.
Yep.
So we don't even know how he's going to play with this new slender body. It could be a pro and it could be a bad thing.
That's true.
I'm really interested in seeing how that goes.
Yeah, me too. And I hope he gets better. I hope he, recovers, and all of the players, really.
He said he's asymptomatic, though, right now. He said he feels fine. Like, he's not having any symptoms. And as soon as he tests negative twice in 24 hours, he can fly back to the U.S. But he has to test negative twice.
Okay. Well, hopefully, we pray for the best for Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets' chances. And, with their, with the player that they have, Nikola Jokic, and then the players in the NBA, the other ones that have tested positive, man, we wish y'all all the best. And, we need Nikola Jokic in the game, man. That boy is great. He's a great basketball player. If y'all have not watched this man play for the Denver Nuggets, y'all need to watch him, Nikola Jokic. So, that's all we got for today, man. This is AB and Pap. We giving y'all what y'all want, giving y'all what y'all need with these podcasts, man. We're going to keep them rolling for you. Thank y'all for tuning in. We thank everybody for their support, those who have given, those who have donated even. And you can find a description below after this video to see how you can donate, how you can help us out, different things like that. And we appreciate all the support and love, man. We in Bull City Studios getting it rocking. I'm your host, AB, and we out.